Yeah.
Oh yes, I saw that. Let's see. Let's go.
I'm gonna be
live.
fumbling with these glasses tonight. I need them.
Put it around your neck, April.
Yeah, but then it's gonna. I'll do it.
April, the red bottoms is fire girl.
They are. April, the one with the money.
We live.
We live. Let's see where we can set it up
live.
at so we can. I know Malik just did all of his. This is good. I can hide it right there. Oh, let's see.
They very comfortable.
Will that work? You gonna help me out?
Okay.
Was it common?
You got it. You wanna a book
Yeah, I was getting ready to say probably.
Give her one of these, baby. Take that off really quickly and give her that the book thing and put it. Maybe that'll work.
Was Shawnee here?
Yeah, Charlotte was here.
It was Shawnee.
That's right. Yeah. Let's see. Maybe we can turn it around and I'll just stand it up against there. Let's see if that works.
Also, Tabitha Brown. You were here for her?
No, but I heard about that one.
Yeah.
Oh,
And when Connie was here, what's her face?
I think we good. As
We good?
long as it don't fall. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, thank you, son.
Who was at the K with comment the other Jennifer Hudson?
Oh, nice.
Wonderful.
Yes,
Me and Malik
yes.
was in the back with her talking to her for about an hour.
Nice.
She is so personable.
Nice.
Like she is on television. That's how she is in person. Yeah, she's amazing.
We had a good conversation in the back.
Show did. I should have taken that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was supposed to say that for out here.
No, I trust me. It's gonna be more just coming up and just in the conversation.
I was getting ready to say, like, it's going to be a conversation that we need.
Yes,
so
we do.
regardless of.
This is gonna be Malik Book's therapy session.
Yes.
The new era of Malik Book.
I know.
The therapy
It was,
session.
it was
Yes.
so emotional in the back. Like I could still feel it.
Yes.
Like I could have welled up.
So for those who are joining us on the live, I am here at Malik Books. We are going to have a conversation about my book. Look, Malik sticking it in.
Yes.
We're going to have a conversation about my book, The Accidental Parent, Nurturing Love in Unforeseen Circumstances.
Yeah.
Myself and April, the co-owner
Hi.
of Malik Books,
Hi, Mike.
over here in, okay, so people got Rhonda. I was like, it's going to be in Westfield, like Fox Hills.
Yes. It's Fox Hills for sure. Fox Hills.
They're like Fox Hills malls.
Yeah, Fox Hills.
I'm like, I don't live here. I don't know.
But to keep it correct, it is Westfield. That's who pays the bills.
I know.
I gotta say Westfield. What's Westfield? Me, Fox Hills Mall? Yes. Okay, I know exactly what that is.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad you came to the right location because
Right.
sometimes the people say, "Well, I'm at the wrong location." Yes, you got to come to the Culver City location.
And
why
that's
I'm
what
in location.
confused me
Yeah.
because I didn't realize this was like they claim this is Culver City.
Yes.
This is Culver City.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
So when you
Culver
said
City.
it, I thought it was another location. So I really had to get the bearing straight.
Yes.
Because you guys have a few different locations.
Yes.
Yeah.
Baby, the mics are like making noise. Can you cut some down? I was like, homie,
Yeah.
Everybody good over there? Y'all good?
y'all good?
Y'all good?
Give us some hey.
I was getting ready to say, I see a lot of little movement happen over there. So thank y'all for joining us. I should have went live on Instagram too. I should have brought my other phone because I could have been doing on
Both of them.
Yeah,
What you need?
Social
Need
media
anything?
platform.
well, I was going because I could have went live on
Oh.
TikTok and Instagram. I just be trying.
Oh,
to
let me tell you
alternate.
something about TikTok. Don't get me. I know I need a late pass, but my personal is not on TikTok. I don't even know how to do TikTok.
Baby, that's where the money at. The money.
That's
is
what
there.
That's what they're saying. That's what they're
Like
saying.
I need to get my late
The money
pass
on
for
TikTok.
sure.
Yeah.
Tonight I'm
thinking
gonna
about
make my
jumping in
TikTok
myself.
account.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you
TikTok
can.
account.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Monetize it, huh?
Oh, that's what I've been hearing.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's why
well,
I was like, that's why I did
definitely
TikTok first.
Yeah.
Especially when you have the high profile book signings.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, so we just had a
absolutely.
beautiful one on Thursday.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That we made it like I'm not gonna say what it is, but it was music, full music. But
It was like
PJ
Tiny
Morgan.
Desk.
I did not just say I
She
wasn't gonna
just
say
said she ain't want
we're
to
not
say
plugging
it.
nothing else but Malik Books, so that is gonna be part of
No,
the upcoming
Bookshelf. We have to have a name for it.
And
like
she's
what-
still trying to tell.
Malik's bookshelf.
Yes.
Malik Bookshelf.
Music
there we
and
go.
books, and it was beautiful.
Music
All right, let's
and
go.
books.
We have a couple of people in
All
here
right, let's
listening
go.
to us. This
All right.
young man is taking pictures. Thank
All
you
right,
so
thank
much.
you so much. Well, welcome tonight is going to be a beautiful conversation between you and I.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about personal issues about accidental parenting.
Yes.
And I said in the back, it's really not an accident, it's just what you were supposed to do.
Amen.
Everything happened in divine time,
Yeah.
and that divine time was just your moment. My moment happened maybe 2.5 years ago with my grandchildren. They are now 4 and 3 years old.
Okay.
And mind you, my children are 19 and 17, so that's like starting all over again. Starting all over again. And I welcome it. I wasn't fully, well, I can't say fully, it was confusing to me, like, okay, so what do we do? Do we, do a full on, or how do we do this? And at the end of the day, time will let you know how to do it.
I started over a little, it was a little more of a start over for me. My kids are, and this has been, for me, it's been about 3 years now. And at the time, my children were maybe, how old were they? So maybe like 27, 25, and 20.
Yes.
And so at the time, my youngest son was just graduating high school. I was on my way out. I was like, I don't have to worry about no school meetings. I don't have
That's
to
an
worry
empty
about,
nester
oh my
syndrome.
gosh. Yeah, I was like, I don't have to worry about making sure nobody get on the school bus. I don't have to worry about waking nobody up. I don't have to do any of that. And in the blink of an eye, I was changing
overnight.
diapers again.
Yep, change overnight.
So it's just, it's very, it's confusing, it's interesting, it's a lot, like we say. I mean, we ain't gonna keep on referencing
Yes.
in the back, but it is a lot of emotions to go through.
To go with it, yes,
Yeah.
for sure. Mine came from just confusion, like confusion of, am I doing the right thing for my grandchildren, for my marriage, for my own children? Am I doing the right thing? And at the end of the day, I feel in my heart that I did the right thing by getting in the car, driving from California to Tijuana in the car with my husband and my 2 children to get my grandchildren. I know that I know that I did the right thing because I'm a driver, as we spoke before.
Yes.
I'm a driver, and I had so many things and thoughts in my head about this situation. And I know that at the end of the day, my grandchildren needed me. Like, I needed so many people in my life. Like, I'm 50 years old now, and I know so many. Oh, it's a term that we going to talk about.
Yes.
Kinship,
Yes.
kinship, and caregiving.
Yes.
But I know so many people and in my life that offered that to me. It didn't have that term back in the day.
Right.
But that term, let's talk about that term.
Yeah, so what we were talking about is kinship care. And what I realized, because I did release my book on Grandparents' Day, because I
When is
thought-
that?
September 8th.
Okay.
And that's a lot of people don't know that there is a Grandparents' Day. And so I felt it was right because most of kinship caregivers are grandparents. And so I wanted to celebrate grandparents by releasing the book on that day. But in these last 2 months since I released the book, I realized so many people have never heard the term kinship care.
Well, we didn't have that term back
We
in the day. It was
didn't,
like
yeah.
you're going to your grandparents' house, or you going to Auntie something house, and that was your home.
Right. Yeah, and that's what we were saying. Yes, because, another thing that happened was you just got dropped off, right?
That's it.
There was no legal paperwork. There was no, there wasn't a lot of conversation about it. I mean, I know for me, I've never lived anywhere else. I never lived with my parents. I know who my parents were. They were around. But my home was my grandparents' house. And there was no legal document to be like, y'all got custody of her or they adopted me or anything like that. It's just like, this is where you live. This is home. And so it's like now a lot of people's experience or have experienced kinship care, but just don't know until you explain it. Like
Yes.
they've experienced it, they've lived it, and then when you say, well, that's kinship care, now,
Oh, that's what that is.
Okay.
I just thought I was at my auntie's house.
right.
Yeah, it's kinship care. That was a term that was when you and I started our conversation.
Yes.
What was that about? A year and a half ago?
Isn't that so crazy?
Yeah, that was long ago. Yes, we were right here at this counter.
Yes.
And we just started conversating about something that we could relate to, and that was our grandchildren and becoming accidental parents.
Right. Yes. And so the book is The Accidental Parent, Nurturing Love in Unforeseen Circumstances. It was written for individuals standing in a gap, raising children who aren't biologically their own due to addiction, incarceration, or tragedy.
Yes. And mine is addiction.
And my early experience was addiction,
Yes.
Being raised by my grandparents because my parents struggled with addiction.
Yes.
And now it's because of incarceration
Yes.
with
See,
my
mine
daughter.
is twofold. Mine was addiction because of my parents, and then mine now is addiction because of my son. Yeah, so and I knew that when that happened, it's just, you have to do it.
Yes.
So many people have done it for you.
Yeah.
So many people, so it needs to be reciprocated. And I
Yes.
reciprocated with love and a blessed heart, because I know if people didn't bless me with their time and just welcome me in their home, I don't know what the outcome of April will be.
Yes.
So I give that back to my grandchildren, my kids. I give that back.
I was telling somebody the other day, I was like, I've tried to be different with my granddaughter. It is, and it's funny because I feel like our grandkids or our
That was my
grandchildren.
third question too.
Oh.
Navigating the difference between parenting skills.
Oh my gosh. And so it's funny because I feel like grandchildren these days are winning because they are getting it from experience, right? I know what I did. I know what happened to me and how I was raised. I know how I raised my kids. And so now raising another generation, it's like all of the experience and the lessons are there. However, I was like, okay, I am going to do different from what I did with my children and try not to be like, because I said so.
Yes.
Or you just do it because I want you to do it. Or, like really having conversations.
That's
and
a
so,
task for me.
Oh,
my grandson, why Gigi? Everything is why Gigi? Why Gigi? I'm like, grandson, and I try my best to explain it to him, but I'm like, okay, now it's because I said so.
And so I do with Ava. I will allow her the space to share, like what she's feeling and what she's going through. But y'all, she stomped at me the other day.
Oh no! Oh,
She stomped at me the other day, and we had a conversation earlier on in the week, and she kind of like snapped at me a little bit, and I was like, hey, you can't talk to grandma like that. Grandma doesn't like that. That's not nice. And so then, fast forward later in the week, and she was putting on her school uniform, and she was having struggles with it, zipper in the back. So I was like, well, let me just hold it. I'll hold it, you zip. And so I held it, she zipping it. Well, you didn't let me do it. And I was like, hey,
watch your tone.
watch your tone. And she stomped. And she's like, I am a big girl. I don't need help from anyone. And I guess I blacked out.
Hey, look, you still there?
Because, next thing I know, she crying. And I'm like, listen.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah, I'm like, hold on. I was like, I tried to help you. I was like, if you are big enough or a big girl enough to talk to me like that, you big girl enough to get hot.
With these consequences.
Yes.
Yes, with these
And
consequences.
so I'm trying, but hey,
Bye.
have a seat.
Have you a seat. Get you a seat. Thank you so much for
Yes,
coming.
thank you so much for
Yes.
coming. Thank you. That's my friend, y'all.
All right, welcome, friend. I wanted to ask you a question.
Yes.
On lessons. Lessons that not only for your granddaughter, but lessons to yourself.
That's a great question. Ooh, that's a great question. I feel like that is a part of the lesson as well, like allowing her, because I tell her, you know, like, let's have a conversation about why you're angry or why you're sad or, you know, like anything. Like, let's breathe through it. Let's talk about it. And so that's a lesson for both of us because it helps me with my patience and my tolerance as well. Y'all, one time I was talking to her, because I do try to give her space, her big girl space, to get herself ready and, you know, like do whatever she can do on her own. And one morning she was getting dressed and I was just doing busy stuff in the garage. And I was like, Ava, are you dressed? And she was like, no, can you just wait? And I was like, and that's exactly, and I was like, well, wait. Like, she's really saying, can you wait?
Give me a minute.
Yes. And it was like, you know, for us, we all like, whoa.
Yes.
Can you wait?
Yeah, that's like that talking.
But before I jumped out, I was like,
Give her a minute.
it was innocent enough. Like, are you, like, just give me a minute and not to receive it like, can you wait, her being smart? Because hopefully she ain't mean it that way.
Yes, give me a minute.
I'm going to receive it as she ain't mean it that way, so I don't have to get out on her. But those are the lessons, right? The lessons are really identifying what is innocent from a 4-year-old brain versus me receiving it as a 50-year, yeah.
As an adult.
And so that is the lesson, because I really was, because I instantly, like everybody in here, when I heard it, I was like, can I wait?
Yes.
But then I was like, wait a minute. Maybe she didn't mean it that way.
Yes.
And so I was just like, okay.
My lesson that I've learned through this whole experience of grandparenting, accidental parenting, is patience.
Mm-hmm.
Patience not only with them, but patience with myself.
Yes.
Patience with myself. Because it's conversations that I have with my grandchildren that I did not have with my kids.
Mm.
My kids are like, if I tell you more than one time, there's a problem.
That's right.
There's a problem. With my grandchildren, I give them a little bit more leeway because they're in my home, but they're not in my home all the time. Mm-hmm. And the parenting that I give them, they're not receiving elsewhere. So I have to be patient on that because they're hearing and seeing things differently other than in my household. Mm-hmm. But I correct it out of love. I correct it. Hey, we blessed in here. Mm-hmm. We don't do that in here. Mm-hmm. We love each other in here. Don't talk to your sister like that. Don't talk to your brother like that. And when they do argue, I did take this lesson that I did with my own children. When they argued and fight, I used to make them sit in the mirror with it, look at each other and hold each other's hand and tell each other how much you love each other. And they did not like it. So my grandchildren...
He's like, no, I did not.
Yes. So I do that with my grandchildren now. And they said, I love you, Camila. I love you, Ishmael. What you like about your brother? What you like? And it helps me learn something about myself. Like, okay, good job. And it's okay to have a good job to yourself because we need it.
Yes.
We need the good jobs and job well done. And what else can I do to help you? Because we need the help as grandparents.
Yes. I talk about that in the book. I'm not sure if that was one of your questions. But I talk about help in the book because...
How to ask for it.
How to ask for it, how to receive it, how to recognize it, how to tell people how to help. Because not everybody knows the help that you need. And sometimes people offer help and it's the wrong kind of help. Mm-hmm. Like it's, even with my husband and my son or whatever, they would help. But help is a little more than changing a diaper at the time.
Facts.
Or making her something to eat. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like you got to, know the kind of help that I need, and don't be offended when I say you, because they definitely got offended. And I was like, you aren't helping, or this isn't helping, and they would be like, well, how you want to say I don't help? Yeah, so it's like you really have to learn to understand and recognize what help looks like for you at whatever stage you're in. And so it's not going to always be the same.
Yes.
What help is needed at that time. And so we have to learn, especially because as because at first it was me. Like, I was just like, when Ava's sick, it's me. When Ava got to go to the daycare, it's me. When Ava got to be picked up from daycare, it's me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so those things are all me. So you coming in the room to talk to her for 5 minutes and then go on about your day.
My routine.
That's disrupting my routine.
Yes. That is disrupting my routine.
Yes.
Yes.
And so that's important too.
I have that. My husband and we do it totally different. I have a routine that I follow, and I follow it. Mm-hmm. He has this routine. I was like, if that's working for you, that's cool. That's cool. But we have a routine that we go by. They know when it's my day, mm-hmm. and they know when it's G Daddy's day. They know the routine.
G Daddy,
They know the routine, and that's what the kids really need.
Yeah.
Routine.
Absolutely.
Routine and structure.
So I think for me though, I kind of lucked up on that part because we spoke about it a little bit. I honestly don't know how I would deal with the other side of the family.
Okay. Yeah, we talked about this.
I don't know. So just to share with everyone here, my granddaughter's other side of the family is not involved at all. Like I honestly don't know these people. Like you could be her grandfather and I'd be like, oh, hey, how you doing? Because I don't know them, right? And so, but for April, she is co-grandparenting, for lack of better words.
Yes.
And so I think that would be difficult for me because to your point, you have your things, your way of teaching, the way that you are rearing her, as our grandparents used to say. And so it's like to have someone undo what you do, I'm ready to fight.
It's hard. It's hard. It's a hard task. It's a hard task. What's the term? Relearning or rethinking? It's hard. It's like doing it over and over and over again. So that's my task. Like, okay, I gotta do this over again. Right.
So
not to say that the other pair isn't doing what they supposed to do. It's just what it's not doing it in my home. It's just not. Nothing is wrong.
Right.
Just say,
it's just different.
It's just different aspects of parenting and guidance. Two different households.
And for us as older grandparents, we parent in a different way because I know, and I look at these young adults and these generations that want to call you by your first name. Don't want to
walk in the house and don't say hi.
Don't want to say hi. Don't say please and thank you. I have found, so grandparenting, this is funny because grandparenting has made me want to grandparent society. I looked at somebody, grown man, was in the elevator with me the other day and was like, 5, can you press 5? And I was like, please.
Can you please press 5?
And so he said it, but I know he was cussing me out in his head, but it's like, you don't just, please. Like, you have to say please. And so it's like, but that's what's going on. Like, there's no manners anymore. There's no discipline. There's no structure. And it's just like, I could not, baby, April, I don't know.
That's the adversity right there. Like, how do you figure this thing out?
You see, I'm trying to, because I'm like, I don't know. Because if I had to.
How do you figure it out? Day by day struggling.
Ooh.
Day by day struggling.
It is. Because if she came back to me after a weekend acting away,
Yeah.
Next question.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Okay. My next one was parenting through adversity. Parenting through adversity. How do you see that? I see it. Mine is parenting through adversity because, as we said, my son is an addict and he's trying his best, and I know that's a different ball game. It's a different beast.
Yeah.
But the adversity that I see it is the kids don't know.
Yeah.
They don't know, but they know.
Yeah.
They know. My grandson knows a little bit because, when they come around, you don't know. But when my son do come around, the kids are very smart. They're very smart. They have feelings. And I know that, and I'm speaking out of experience.
Yes.
Because as I spoke before, my parents were addicts, but my mom was a functioning addict.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew when it wasn't right. When she went rogue, I knew in a couple of days,
Yeah.
it's going to be different around here. I'm going to be in this piece by myself. I'm going to have to get to school by myself, and I'm going to come home by myself. But it's different with my son only because he has not two. Well, I can only speak for my household. He has two parents, speaking of my husband and myself, that's willing to catch him. I mean, catch him as a father and catch him as a son. So dealing with adversities with parenting grandchildren, you want to pop up and be dad today and then be absent tomorrow. That's hard.
Yeah. I think for me, as I've shared before and I've shared with others, the adversity for me right now is just raising Ava, right? And raising Ava to be a good person. The hard part is going to come when my daughter comes home. So, it's like when my daughter comes home, she will have missed all of the formative years, right? Like I've done all the potty training, all of the building the foundation, the please and thank you, the manners, the whole thing. Like she will have missed all of the formative years. And the adversity comes in because she can't just come home and feel like she's going to start being the primary parent. Mm-hmm. Like we can't, that is going to be, I don't know what that's going to be. It's going to be a lot of adversity because my granddaughter knows her. She knows mommy, but she knows mommy through the phone or mommy on the computer when we do the video calls and anything like that. And she's only seen my daughter in person one time since she was a baby. And so, like one time that she saw her, they played together. But even with that, like my daughter was, because we went down to the prison. Mm-hmm. They had like a family day. And so, I sat back and she was acting like, not that she was acting like she wasn't aware or anything like that, but she definitely wasn't like, let me grab her and take her and everything else like that. And, Ava want to keep on coming to me. I'm like, nah, go with your mother. Like, And so that is going to be, it's going to be a lot of conversations. It's going to be a lot of boundary setting. It's going to be a lot of just figuring it out. But what I know 1,000% is that she will not come to my home and feel like she's going to undo everything that we did. And so that, whatever that means and whatever that takes, that's what's going to happen and what's not going to happen.
I see too also in your book, this journal.
Yes.
This is, it's a guide and also a journal in it, and which is I felt was pretty dope because after you've dove into this guide, what can you do with the information? Yes. You can journal, and which is pretty dope. So tell us a little about that.
And what's crazy is the person who edited my book was like, I wouldn't advise any of my clients to add a journal at the back. Like, I just don't feel like it's necessary.
I have notes in here.
Yeah, and I was like, I feel like it is necessary. And I did, like, I let her do the editing and do the formatting and everything she did. And I added it afterwards. Mm-hmm. Because for me, to your point, I felt it was important for people to be able to write down what they learned, be able to take notes on what's important to them.
Yes.
Whatever the important parts were, to be able to, maybe it jogged a core memory or something. Maybe something in the book sparked something else that you went through or something. But you needed a space to write it down. Like, I wanted you to be able to have a space and a spot to write down whatever you took away from the book. And also, to that, that was the reason that I added stories from other people,
Yes.
because I wanted this book not only to be tips and tools on how to deal with what you're going through. I wanted you to hear the stories from other people so that you know you're not alone in this journey. And so I spoke to several people on both sides. I spoke to parents, accidental parents, and then individuals who were raised by accidental parents, to see it from both sides. Because you have to, and you and I spoke about this briefly in the back, although, you know, like my struggles and everything that I've gone through got me here, and I love where I am.
Yes, agreed.
It's just like, what if I had both of my parents? What if my parents didn't struggle with what they struggled with? What if, I mean, and even on the opposite of that, what if I had my grandparents? Like, what if my grandparents were like, nah, take this kid, you know? So it's like, I want you to be able to have a space to reflect on all of those things.
I'm gonna piggyback. I believe that everything happened in divine time.
Yes.
I believe that you are who you're supposed to be right now.
Yes.
Even with no parents, grandparents, uncle. I'm going to share this with you. I'm 50 years old, and I just found out that my father is not my father. I just, like 2 months ago. And I don't feel betrayed, and I don't feel, why, none of that. My father was my father. My mother was my mother, and I was dealt those cards, and I played the hand I was dealt. I'm just appreciative of the time that I have with my DNA now. So going forward, I'm going to enjoy whatever we give each other. That's what we're going to give each other. I am the oldest of 11.
Oof.
I grew up an only child.
So I was going to say, because I know that your husband shared that you met your dad, but I didn't know that you had a dad.
Oh,
so
yeah,
like,
I had a dad.
So
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, I'm interested in that.
Okay,
You know what
and
I mean?
mine is an accidental parent. My dad was a dad, but he wasn't a father that when he came to pick me up, I still remember the phone number when he say, I'm coming, and never showed up.
Yeah.
At 50 years old, I still remember that phone number. I still remember the phone number. Are you coming?
This is the real dad?
This is whenever I say dad, I'm talking about my father. I'm not talking about DNA.
Okay.
Whenever,
Okay.
I always get that, make sure
Okay.
people understand. Whenever I say dad or father, I'm talking about that man who raised me and called me daughter, not the DNA. Because
Gotcha.
at this point, DNA is DNA and really don't matter.
Right.
You know, relationships is what you make them.
Yes.
At the end of the day. But the father that I knew, I mean, it's accidental parent on him. He dropped me off at my grandparents' house. Those were my parents.
Yeah.
You know, when my father would come and get me from my mom, he would take me to my and skirt out. You know, you know, he still was doing his thing, and vice versa with my mom. You know, my mom, she, you know, functioning addict, as I said, and you know, she was out there, and if I went to my auntie's house, which was her friend, that was my aunt, I stayed there forever. You know, I stayed there. When her kids was in Catholic school, April was in Catholic school too. You know, not because of direction of my mother, it's because she was accidentally parenting me.
Yes.
And I can't be nothing but grateful for everybody who accidentally parented me.
Yeah.
Everybody. And I'm very appreciative of it all. Of it all. So yeah, that DNA ain't no joke.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I saw some of it,
Yeah.
but of course I wouldn't know the whole story. But yeah, I mean, it is different because, you know, even when you have your parents, that doesn't mean that they're the dad or the mom. You know what I mean? Like, because I have my stepmother who passed away about 2 years ago now. But my stepmother remained my mother through divorce, through a new marriage. My dad married somebody else. I ain't even like that chick. You know what I mean? Like, the first stepmother was the one who stuck. You know what I mean? And so it's like, even though my mom was around, even though he married this new woman, the stepmother was the one. Like, that was who I spoke to, confided in, who the kids knew.
Girl, everything happened in divine order because I have a daughter like that. Yes, I do. I have a daughter. I don't. None of my children are stepchildren. None of them. They my kids. My daughter, my son, or whatever. And I have that the
Are you
relationship
trying to make
with
the
them.
purchase?
Come on,
Come on.
come on.
Like the Wu-Tang Cracker, right?
Okay, come on in here. The cash register right behind you. Yes, I believe relationship.
We are at a bookstore, y'all, so they selling books in here. Like.
Yes. We appreciate you guys for
Yes,
being
yes,
with
yes.
us. This is going to be our last little question. I want you to tell everybody where you can get your book.
That's our last question.
Yes, that's you got some more? You want
I
some more?
mean, no, we good. We good.
Okay.
But yes, the book is available on Amazon.
Don't you say that in here.
Oh.
The book is available at Malik's Books
Y'all, you know
and
what? My bad.
MalikBooks.com. You can get your autographed copy. She will be signing
My
autographs. She will be autographing her books, and you can only get autographed copies
At
Malik
Malik
Books. There you go. If you're not
My
following us, please
bad.
do. Malik Books on all social media
Yes, and if you are
platforms.
in California, in the Los
You
Angeles,
better come on.
you better come on.
Yes, we can't wait to see you, and we appreciate your continued support for Malik and April. Please come and see us at Culver City location.
Were there any
Ball Hill.
questions?
Oh yeah, okay, question.
Well, yeah, what she really meant was Malik's book is amazing.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
What's your question, lady? You have a
She
question?
ain't had no
Yeah.
question. She ain't had no question.
Or the correction.
Actually, yeah. No, I had a correction. Look at what I really wanted to do was thank you for coming and sharing your story. It brought up. I was also accidentally parented by a lot of people. What you said was, did you say drugs, incarceration, and devastation?
And tragedy, yeah.
And tragedy. Mine was mental illness.
Yes.
So my mother was mentally ill, and it felt like she was on drugs.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of almost the same.
It is.
The actions can be very similar. So I was accidentally parented by my grandmother, by my aunts, by the foster care system, by McLaren Hall, by a lot of different entities, because they didn't know what to do with me. So, like, that's how I ended up in McLaren Hall. So that's why when I hear your story, I'm like, wow, it just brought up so many memories for me as a child. And God bless you. And
Thank
you
you.
too, April,
Yeah.
for taking
Yeah.
care
Yeah.
of someone else's child and giving them love and affect. People, and it is so important to explain everything about life to kids. I think because I was in so many different homes and so many accidentally parenting situations, I think they assumed I knew stuff from home to home.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about like when I started
Yeah, you're female.
my female, I didn't even know any. I think they assumed that I learned that from somewhere else. No one taught me about how to talk to boys and how they approach you, and the only thing that they want from you. I believe that they assumed that someone
That you
else
knew.
already knew this. So I had to learn all of these things
Yeah.
on my own. And one of the most important things that I feel is you got to tell a child. You got to tell them your experiences and the things that you know. And I'm so grateful that there are two women in this world, you two sitting up there, that are doing this and are parenting these children now. And what I do now for a living, I'm a behavioral therapist. So I'm learning, like you would say so when I heard you say that your granddaughter said,
Wait.
yes. I was like,
Oh my God.
really? So as a human being, as a mama, like back in the day, a
Oh,
shoe would have been flying
yeah.
for
Oh,
her.
yeah.
A shoe
Absolutely.
would have been flying for her. As a behavioral therapist, this is what they have done. My training is teaching me, let's try that again.
Yeah.
Let's try. You still teach a child manners. When other people hear me do the ABA method with children, they like, you're teaching her the manners. That's not ABA. No, it's not. It's teaching. You say you're welcome. They don't teach you an ABA. I'm teaching you how to be a human in
That's a life
society.
skill.
Yeah.
I'm teaching you a life skill.
that's a life
you
skill
say
for
you're
sure.
welcome. When the teacher hands you something, say you're welcome, or say thank you, and that's what I get to teach my kids. I teach them a little bit more, and that's from my upbringing
Yes.
and things that I learned. So thank you to women
Thank
for
you.
being
Thank you.
very
Thank
good women.
you.
And,
For having the courage to share your
Thank you.
story.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is just a little bit.
It is.
That's
Yeah.
Look, I might have to write another book after my daughter come home.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your question?
So I wanted to know, how old will your granddaughter be when your daughter comes home?
So she will be going on 6. So
Okay.
by the time my daughter comes home, that's why I was saying, like, she's already missed, like, when she comes home, she'll already be in school for real.
Yes.
And so, like, she's missed all of the formative years. She's missed all of the fundamentals, yeah. And so that's why I'm like, honestly, I said this to somebody else, and I laugh when I think about it, and I laugh when I say it, because
What?
I'm sorry, and it's going to sound bad, and I know it does. It sounds bad, but I would love for my daughter to come home and be the nanny.
Oh.
like I just need her to come home and do all the things that I can't do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I want her to be the transportation. I want her to take her to gymnastics.
Yeah.
I don't even need her to pay for
Yes.
it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I just want I want her to be that person. Like, of course she's mom.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But as we are rebuilding that relationship, I need her to be that person that does all of the things, no questions asked. Like, whatever Ava has going on, whatever activity she has going on, taking her to school,
Give her
picking
an agenda.
Right.
everything.
Hand her the agenda.
I need her to be that person. That's what that's what I need.
Make her schedule before she comes
Yeah.
home.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's what I need. Like, I need her to do
with
that.
her before she hit these.
No.
Because it's like I don't, and that's why I said I'm still figuring it out, y'all. I am, because this is, it's hard.
Yes.
It's hard to change the dynamic.
So you're,
Oh, we
Yeah.
fell.
yes. It's gonna come back up. All right.
Yeah, but it's hard to change the dynamic when you've been doing this for like
For so
6
long.
years, you know?
Yeah.
And so I would want her to come back, and obviously I want them to bond and,
Yes.
and forge their relationship and do all the things. I just need her to do it as a nanny
Yeah.
first.
You know what? Too, piggybacking off what you just said, I'm prayerful and hopeful that when my son light bulb comes on, because daughters are so different with their dad.
Yes.
Even though
Yeah.
my grandson is proven, the way that he feels, the way he looks at his father, but his daughter, is totally different. So when that light bulb kick on, and only thing matters is them, that love for her dad, oh my gosh, it's gonna be bananas. And I hope that he is able to feed and fester that relationship with her.
Does he come around also, or
Right now, he is getting help right now, but
Okay.
when he is here, you don't know, but it's a hit and miss when you're an addict as a parent.
who don't? I mean, I don't know your son,
Yes.
but I live with, but not live with, but I got addicted parents.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, you know. Yeah. So you know
Yeah.
the hit and miss is a hit and miss.
Yeah.
But kids still long for that relationship
Oh,
from their
yeah.
parent. I don't care if they didn't see their parent on the street.
Yep.
They still long for that relationship with the parent.
Yep.
But when you are a full on parent and you are a father to a daughter,
Yeah.
the relationship is just like the daughter is so in love with the dad. Because I was in love with my father. I was like, my mother couldn't tell me nothing about that man.
Yeah.
Even though I would call the number every weekend, like, when are you coming? And my mother, she couldn't tell me nothing bad about that man until I became an adult and understood, like, oh, this is what she was talking about.
Yeah.
This is what she's talking about. So if I didn't talk to you for 10 years, I didn't care. But I knew when I did talk to him, that was my daddy. That was my father. And at the end of his life, because he passed on, the day I found out my DNA was 99.99. My
Are you
father
serious?
passed. Yes.
Before, look, I know. I'm like,
Yes.
No,
Before-
months ago?
Same day.
On September 13th, my father transitioned. This year.
I'm like,
On that day, my DNA results came in from the biological father. That man was my father, 99.99%.
So what? Wait, how? What? Whoa,
Girl.
wait a minute. Look, I'm all stuttering. Like, what made you do the thing?
Oh, because I didn't believe it, because they called me and I thought it was a telemarketer. My husband can attest to this. I'm talking to the baby. She's now my niece, and I was like, "Are you sure?" She didn't know how to say my name is Aprilla, and she was trying to say it. I'm like, I thought there was a telemarketer. I'm like, "Yeah, this is she speaking. How can I help you?" She said, well, my name is Casey, and I think you might be my aunt. Me being the only child, I'm like, how can I be your aunt? I don't have no siblings.
Right.
Like, how can I be your aunt? Where did this information come from? My mom is telling me that she's been telling me she has a sister in California. And my grandpa, David, and when she said that name, I just started laughing. And my
Because you
husband,
knew a David or you?
no.
Oh.
I'm a fix Shelly.
Okay, I'm
So
sorry.
my husband's like, what are you doing laughing over there with the telemarketer? So I did a 23. Well, my husband did a 23andMe on all of our kids, me, him, and the kids. And my DNA results 2 years ago, right? About 2 years ago, didn't come back as my name, my father. I'm like, what? Why is it coming up this Hicks? I'm like, what is this? I didn't know. So push forward 2 years, I get this phone call. And it's like, your mom was married to my grandpa. I'm like, how? When? What? So the man gets on the phone. They call the man. We FaceTime and everything. Yeah, I was married to your mom.
You didn't know she was married?
No,
Nope.
I did not know my mom was married to this man for a year and a half.
Wow.
Well, I'm telling my mom business. She
I know.
She's not here
We
to
sorry, Mom.
accept or deny. But this is the story. So
Allegedly. That's what you
right, allegedly. My mom and my dad, whenever I say my dad, I'm talking about my dad, was together.
Mm-hmm.
She left my father and went to Arkansas where she was born. And she started dating this gentleman named David. And she married him. So she was finished with David. She's like, I'm done with you. I'm going back home.
Wow.
So she came back home to my dad. And my dad and her was together. She was in the hospital and I was born. My dad was there and everything. So push forward. My mom must have came back pregnant, basically.
Yeah, but
she must have came back pregnant, and my dad was like, "Hey, this mine. It don't even matter who. This mine." So they called me on my father's birthday, on my dad's birthday,
Wow.
August 19th is my father's birthday. I got this phone call.
That's my brother's birthday.
September 13th, my father transitioned. And I told him, before I get too invested with all this information y'all giving me, I'm going to need to get a DNA test. What can we do it? So the sister, one of my other sisters, found the DNA place. Mind you, my sister worked for the government. This is how they found me. She worked for the government, and she was too afraid to call. So she gave the baby, which is 16, the number and said, will you call?
Wow.
So they called, and the information that she got was proven. She works for the government, so she knew the bookstore. She knew my husband. She knew everything.
Wow.
She knew everything. So the DNA, I was like, well, where can I get the DNA? So she found the place. We all swabbed. I video everything. We swabbed. I swabbed me. They swabbed the dad, and they swabbed the sisters. And everybody was like, oh, we can't wait. Mind you, we did this on a Thursday. We had to wait Friday, the weekend they don't work, and Monday. So we had to wait all of them. So on that 13th, they said, look on your email. My phone was blowing up. Oh, should I check my email? Check my email. And it said 99.99% this man is my father.
Wow.
I still didn't believe it though. I called the people. Is this right? Mind you, I'm a nurse by trade.
Yeah.
I knew it was right.
Yeah.
But I just wasn't. I'm like, this is unbelievable.
Dang,
But I
that's
told
crazy.
my sister friend that's sitting here. So I'm so grateful. Not that my dad has passed, but
I
I'm
was getting ready to
grateful.
say that. I
Yes,
was
but I'm
literally
grateful
getting ready to
that
say
he transitioned
Yes.
knowing that I knew that he was my father.
Yes.
He didn't have to answer to any of the questions that I have.
Yep.
So I'm so grateful for that.
I was
I've
just
gone to
getting ready to say
Texas and
that.
seen these people, and I was fighting with myself. Like, am I betraying my mother by doing this?
Mm-hmm.
I was fighting. I'm like, if she didn't want me to know, she must didn't want me to know 50 years later. And my mother has a twin sister, and she kept it. And I need a friend like her. I need a sister like her because it wasn't her job to tell me anything.
Mm-hmm.
My mother told you, don't say anything. If she tell you, don't say anything, that's what she meant.
Right.
Take it to your grave. Don't say anything. Let it come out when it needs to come out. When I finally told my aunt about this DNA result, she said, thank you, I'm released.
Oh.
Oh. Wow.
Wow.
She said, thank you, I'm released. So I'm grateful for my aunt, my mom, twin sister, for holding that information.
Identical twin
Mhm.
sister, by the way.
For holding that
You said
information.
your
for
mom's
me.
still alive?
No, she passed on 5 years ago.
Okay.
So that's why I said she not here all too, except for deny
Wow.
all this information.
Yeah.
So yeah, I am the oldest. Can you believe the oldest of 11 siblings?
Mm.
Wow.
And grew up the only child.
That is
That's
crazy.
another
I
book.
grew up the only child.
I was getting ready to say that's a whole other story within itself.
Yes.
Book from
Yeah,
Paula
right.
Consuelo.
Right, so yeah, that's a little bit, going into that. But I truly enjoyed our conversation.
Yes, this was so good. Thank you
Yes.
all.
Thank you,
y'all.
thank
Thank
you,
y'all
thank you.
for
Thank you.
handing me.
Make sure you pick up this.
Yes.
Make sure you pick it up. MalikBooks.com is going to be autographed.
MalikBooks.com.
Yeah. Our friends at Malik Books. Come to the location.
Yes.
All right. Good night,
All right,
guys.
good night.
That was nice.
Thank you.